because every day there's a potential that someone or something or some situation can try to beat you down. And those are the days when you need maybe just a text to support you, to encourage you, to inspire you, and if anything, at a bare minimum, a text from me reminding you that I'm working, that I'm grinding it out, that I'm hustling, that I'm continuing to do my best to build the future that I want. What's up, internet friends, founders, and the Entre-Pro Curious? You've made it, and you're here. It's Venture Daily with me, Peter Saddington. Guys, it is Venture News, daily news bits from a founder's perspective. I always like reading news bits, giving you guys my perspective from a founder. And today we have, on this Friday, come on guys, it's the end of the week. Woohoo! Exciting, guys. I hope you guys are going to have a wonderful week, guys. Hallelujah. The week is coming to a close. You know, one of the things that I always think about as I move into Monday, maybe I'll re-talk about this on Monday's show. But one of the things I always think about when I move into the next week is to try not to bring all the ish and the crap from the previous week. Not that the previous week was crap or the weekend was crap. Generally, I have pretty good weekends. Because I'm out on the track karting with my son and the racing team. But you know, it's one of those things. You want to leave the previous week there, you know? And this week has been a fantastic week. It's been a great week. I've had some great conversations with venture capitalists online and in person, three in person this week. It's just awesome. We're moving along, we are building, we are continuing to grow, continuing to go, and I hope I could be an encouragement to you guys every day. And so, even though we're going to be moving, this is Friday, and I had a great week this week, I'm sure on Monday, I'm not going to be pulling any of this in because I want to reset the week for the next week, for the next week, and I just want to focus. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying, guys. It's one of those days. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. We got two interesting news bits, two of which that I haven't read other than the title, and I'm going to be giving you guys my 2 cents on it. The first one we're going to be going through is 4 warning signs. Right. 4 warning signs that your business is destined to fail. Intriguing. Had me. I was like, okay, all right, well, let's check this out. And the second one, the title is focusing on a niche really that important? We'll see what this author has to say. I'm probably going to find myself reading this and thinking that, yeah, focus is really important. As you guys well know, focus is ridiculously important if you're a founder or an entrepreneur. If you're going to be spreading yourself thin, it's going to be hard to be effective in what you're actually doing. And Today, I'm also going to be talking about a text experiment that I started on Monday. Some of you guys know, if you have the newsletter, then you know that I started a text message experiment where you can get 10 days of text messages from me. It's the Daily Hustle. So for some of you guys, you've already signed up, but if you're interested, make sure that you check out my daily newsletter. I'll have links in there today around how you can join it, or you can go through my Twitter and find the tweets and all that stuff about it. So let's jump in to today. It's Friday, my friends. I hope you've had a wonderful week like I have. Let's get into it. It's Venture Daily.
Did you know that there's even more value than just audio or video? Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at VC Hunting. And make sure to sign up for the VC Hunting newsletter, where you'll be able to get weekly news on venture capital, startups, founder stories, and the occasional wisdom extracted from Peter's brain. Go to vchunting.com to sign up. And now, back to the episode.
Well, 4 reasons that your startup might be destined to fail. This is by Ryan Robinson. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, roughly 20% of small businesses fail within the first year. This can actually be quite an encouraging statistic, though. After all, it means that the majority of businesses make it past the tough first year. But as time goes on, the chances for long-term sustained success seem to get slimmer and slimmer. By year 5, only about 50% of companies are still in business, and by the 10th year, 70% have closed the doors for one reason or another. While some industries are far more failure-prone than others, there's no denying the business practices of the company founders will usually be what makes or breaks the startup. With that in mind, I recently spoke to a few experienced entrepreneurs to gather their insights on how business owners, potential investors, and even employees can better recognize when a company needs help. Well, that actually is pretty encouraging, and it's funny that I'm looking at it from this type of perspective. The fact that most businesses survive the first year, but by year 5, 70 or plus more percent of them don't survive, that's actually kind of encouraging. Do you want to know why? The reason why it's encouraging is it means that we have a whole slew of entrepreneurs and founders who build companies for 5 to 7 years, they fail, and you know what they end up doing? They end up going back and building another business. This is encouraging to me because this has been pretty much my life in a lot of ways. You go and build, and I've been fortunate, I've had a lot of successes in my startups, but it's because I built community first. That's the secret. You build community, you have help to build your products. Anyway, and so what's interesting is even when I roll off a project and I go into something new, you just keep going. You just keep going. So I don't know why I'm gleaning that from this. I'm encouraged by the fact that people are still willing to continue to build businesses even though most of them fail. It's the American dream, if you want to call it that. So what's the number one reason why these businesses fail? Well, making the wrong hires. I can agree with that. According to Andrea Fryer, Agile marketing coach and co-founder of Agile Sherpas. Hey, that's within my world. Agile Sherpas, I got it. Leaders must be willing to hire people who are smarter than themselves if they wish to achieve long-term success. The few first hires say a lot about whether a company is going to be around for the long haul. If the company hires amazing people who could be running it in a few years, they're setting themselves up for a bright future. If, on the other hand, they bring on barely qualified people who blindly do what the leaders are saying and do their bidding, things aren't going to be in a good direction. Take a look at your employees, 1 through 5, and you'll get a solid predictor of how the company will perform. Considering Fryer's words, it shouldn't come as much as a surprise that Harvard Business Review reports that chief executives view the unavailability of talent and skills as the biggest threat to their business. Testing basic skills, evaluating emotional intelligence, and looking for standout past performance are all a good start. But companies also need to hire innovative thinkers who are passionate about the product or service they'll be working with if they want to succeed. Well, I'll tell you guys this, 100%. If your first hires suck, you're going to tank your company. And not that I 100% agree with this author in terms of always hiring people smarter than yourself. I mean, they might be smarter than yourself in a particular area like ops, marketing, sales, development, product development, who knows? That's what you should be focusing on. Not just generically that they're smarter than you. They should be smarter than you in the functional areas in which you need. Now, here's a founder tip. Take your time. Now, I don't mean take your time in terms of lackadaisically, just if you need to hire and you need to scale, you need to hire, you need to scale, and you need to do it quickly. What I mean by take your time is do the diligence necessary. Go full bore. Whenever I'm hiring for my startup, I literally dig myself into a hole for the next month or so, like 30, 60 days. That's all I'm really willing to put towards it. And during those 30, 60 days when I need to hire, especially if it's a leadership position, I pretty much just focus on that, finding the right people, having tons and tons of meetings. I remember one time I was building a startup, and I think I interviewed probably close to 30 people in 2 weeks. And you might say, well, regular recruiters do. Yeah. Regular recruiters will interview 30 people in 2 weeks, 15 people a week, basically 2 people a day, because that's their job. But as a founder, you have to juggle all the other founder and leadership roles and responsibilities, as well as hiring. But hiring is so important. So this is it. Hiring is so important, especially at the early stages of a tech startup, that you really have to almost pivot your focus for that period to focus on getting and hiring the right people. So in terms of this article, absolutely, he's correct. Your first hires, your executive leadership team, They have to be the best. They have to be the best, 100%. Number 2, lack of a solid marketing plan. I don't know if I agree with this immediately. Let's see what this guy has to say. If you don't have a clear picture of exactly who or soon to be your customers are and a smart approach for getting in front of those people in a scalable fashion, you'll likely struggle to create a sustainable business. As I discussed business ideas with prospective entrepreneurs, I often find that they severely underestimate the amount of work and resources that they need to plan for when it comes to marketing and outreach. I would generally agree with this. They are understandably excited about their business idea and concept, but that can lead to the dangerous assumption that everyone else will be too, says Greg Bay, president of digital market firm Blue Tangerine. We live in a very noisy world, and it takes great effort to get your message noticed. A business that doesn't have a plan to get their product or service in front of their target audience will never get off the ground. This doesn't mean that you need a multi-million-dollar marketing budget, but build it and they will come mindset rarely achieves the desired goal. All businesses must launch with a clearly defined target audience in mind. Learning as much as possible about your customers should then guide the entire marketing campaign, including messaging style, which social media platforms you'll use, if you'll be leveraging blogger outreach, or even how to design your own website. Without a marketing plan in place, how can you expect to make any sales? I don't know if a marketing plan, here's where I'll come from, guys. Do you need a marketing plan? If you want to call it that. What you really need is you need a lightweight target audience of users or customers that you assume, at least within your hypothesis, you assume that you are going to reach out to, and you assume that are going to find value from the product or service that you're building. What you need to do is you need to begin outreach. And this is a lot of the stuff that I talk about and I write about in the book that I'm writing about gravity, creating your own brand, creating an irresistible brand, bringing people to yourself. Yes. Market, if you want to call it a marketing plan, you can call it a marketing plan. Regardless, you need to begin outreach on day one or before day one and progressively throughout the entire build of your company. You have to be reaching out to people that could potentially be your customers, creating that community. Now, they didn't use the word community here because he's not all about it, but he doesn't realize is that communities is where things get made. Communities are how you get feedback for your application. Having community allows you to know whether your product sucks. A community can tell you that, hey, I would love to use this, but it's not X, it's not Y, it doesn't have Z. This type of community feedback and user feedback is better than a marketing strategy. It's asking real-world people what they think about the idea that you have. Number 3, ineffective team management. Lee Harrelson, founder and principal of a structural engineering firm Axiom PLC, notes that many startup founders are simply unequipped for a thriving leadership position. The founder often lacks management of people skills, having spent their previous work life developing the skill or product knowledge that led them to launch their business. Harrison continues, building teams is a big challenge, and while people will be initially excited about the potential of the company's future, they'll quickly settle into wondering who's leading them and whether this person will get them to where they want to be in their career journey. A great product idea on its own doesn't lead to a successful business. Founders must understand how to create a viable business plan and provide leaders strong leadership to their employees. This could be why mentoring startups consistently raises, mentoring startups, that's what I do, consistently raises up 7 times as much money as non-mentored startups. They have someone helping them navigate the business from the business side of things. Founders must take the time to find their strengths and their own weaknesses, particularly in terms of building a leading team of employees. Otherwise, the company can quickly lose direction and momentum. I would agree, relatively, but what he said here actually isn't all that helpful. At the end of the day, focus on finding great talent, focus on getting great feedback. There you go. That's the first 3 right there. Number 4, the 4th reason why your startup might not survive, guys, is because of poor communication from the top. I like to use the word radical transparency in my businesses, as long as I'm as completely transparent as I can be to the rest of my founders, rest of my executives, my management, my leadership, my employees. That requires a maturity level from you to overshare what's necessary. I don't know what that is. I don't know what you need to overshare, but you need to communicate, right? Communication is the means in which people can understand what you're actually doing, your vision. And lack of clear communication from the leaders in an organization is a clear sign of trouble on the horizon. When a CEO refuses to be present or transparent during a public crisis, such as the recent challenges for aircraft manufacturer Boeing, or like WeWork, it's a sign of the company in trouble, or soon will be. This same problem can creep up internally within a company too, especially if management stops communicating openly with employees. This can sometimes be explained away by communication styles, laziness, or a full schedule, but often it can seem that to the employees that management doesn't want to share how bad things are, or they don't want to lie to employees about it, so they're intentionally saying nothing. Transparency in the workplace ensures that everyone is on the same page. It builds trust and keeps lines of communications open between employers and employees, which makes it easier to address problems while helping everyone feel valued. Well, I'll tell you this. You can't help everyone feel valued all the time, period. We actually talked about this in a previous Venture Daily show, talking about, hey, you can't help everyone. You can't make everyone happy. At the end of the day, though, they're there to do a job. That's the crucial part. Dishonesty not only creates a negative work culture, but it can also ruin your relationship with customers once the truth comes out. While these certainly aren't the only issues that can be revealed when a business is heading down the wrong path, they do serve as a key warning signs to keep a close eye on. If you're noticing these problems start to bubble on the surface of your own business, it's your responsibility to take action now in order to course correct. Wait too long, and your big idea will just be another failed startup statistic. Well, I'll tell you this. The author isn't wrong here, but he's reminding us of a lot of things that I remind you guys. Focus, focus, focus. Focus, 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 focus. When you need to hire talent, focus on that. That should be your primary goal. When you need to get feedback on the latest iteration of your product that you just released, you need to have people, or yourself, especially if you're a one-man show like moi. Gotcha, bitch. Or if you have a small team, you need them to focus on that particular tactic, on that particular initiative. And so hiring the right people, bringing the right people on board, focusing on your customers and getting that feedback and being transparent about it all along the way, these are some pretty good advices, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys, whether you agree or disagree, or if there are any other warning signs that you think that we should know about when it comes to your business. Let's move on to the next one here. So is focusing on a specific niche really that important? This one's by Brendan Egan. One of the most common mistakes I see businesses make is lacking specialization. For years, I personally fought this for a mindset that specialization would limit the amount of potential clients I could work with. So I ran my marketing agency as a jack of all trades, offering services to any business that knocked on my door. Fast forward to today, and I've seen the power of specialization through both of my own businesses and dozens of clients. So why do I need to be niche specific? Focus, guys. Focus. Exactly what we just talked about, Brendan. Exactly, my friend. Focus. Practice makes perfect, and that applies in the business world as much as anything else in life. By being niche specific in whatever your business does, you're constantly getting in repetitions and practice at the same things over and over. It allows you to become a business expert at your craft in one particular vertical, oftentimes making you the subject matter expert for this particular niche. But niche specific doesn't mean turning away business. Well, does it? Yes and no is the real answer. The real answer is yes and no, for sure. First and foremost, you can specialize with a specific niche, but still work with clients in other niches. Specialization doesn't mean you can only work within that niche. You can also refer that businesses out to other partners who specialize in other niches. In the long run, as you begin to specialize, and you will focus your marketing and sales and efforts onto your niche, which will lead to a decrease in leads outside your area of specialization and a dramatic increase in leads in your own vertical. That's the key. One of the hardest things to do, guys, if you're listening here, One of the hardest things to do as a founder is to say no, especially when money is on the table and money is coming in. The problem is that money directs your attention, and especially if that money directs your attention outside of your niche or outside of your focus. I'll give you one example. When we were building one of our crypto apps, we had got a lot of advertising, especially during the hype of Bitcoin and crypto, a lot of advertising opportunities to advertise for shit coins, basically. Your beat connects. Watch your ears, guys.
Be connect!
Yes, we got advertisements for a lot of shit coins.
Nope.
The problem is that we could have taken that money, which was great, but then I'd have to refocus my efforts on creating content for those particular ads and those particular shit coins. Not a good idea. So we said no. We could have made tens of thousands of dollars in ad revenue, but we were building a community system, not trying to shill ICO crap coins. And so sometimes it is the better thing to say no, because in the long run, it allows you to focus on building the better product that you need to build and not distract you. Those time bandits, guys. So how do I find my niche? You can find your niche through research and marketing in a particular vertical. For example, if you're a marketing agency, pick a vertical that interests you and doesn't have a ton of competition. There's competition everywhere, guys. There's competition everywhere. What he really meant to say is don't worry about the competition, because if you're awesome and you can make a differentiating, if you can differentiate yourself within the market, competition isn't an issue. However, in my experience, more times than not, your niche will find you. For example, many of my family members are in the legal space. My dad is a lawyer, sister a lawyer, mom is a court reporter, and many of my friends and their friends are also in the legal space. What happened to this dude? Oh, he became a journalist. This naturally has led me to understand this vertical, and over time, I've continued to gain more and more clients in this space. This vertical fell into my lap, and once I started to actually focus on its target, our agency quickly grew to service dozens of legal clients. Ah, I see what he did there. So how will you become niche specific and help the bottom line? One of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs is scaling their business. Being niche specific and engaging in the same tasks and processes over and over is one of the easiest ways to scale. Once you perfect those processes and procedures, it's much easier to train employees to do this at a scale when compared to a business that does not vertically specialize. A business can certainly succeed without niche specialization, but in my opinion, having a particular niche will increase your chances of success, make your business more scalable, make you a subject matter expert in the industry, and perhaps more importantly, improve your bottom line. Well, guys, I like this article. At the end of the day, I didn't read it ahead of time, but it was a nice reinforcement that focusing is key. Focusing is crucial, guys. So, let's jump in. I'm not going to do a little movie here bit, but I want to remind you guys of a couple things that are happening this week or happened this week. I'm going to leave a link below if you want to check it out. But I launched the daily hustle, 10 days of text messages from me, guys. Cha-ching, hallelujah. It's an experiment, guys. That's what we're doing. That's what we do. We do experiments. So I'm doing this experiment with a friend of mine who creates text automation systems. And so check out the link below if you're interested in receiving 10 days of text, one text a day of inspiring quotes from me that I just made up in my brain to encourage founders, entrepreneurs, and people to continue to hustle and go and continue to grow and continue to keep going. Because every day there's a potential that someone or something or some situation can try to beat you down, and those are the days when you need maybe just a text to support you, to encourage you, to inspire you, and if anything, at a bare minimum, a text from me reminding you that I'm working, that I'm grinding it out, that I'm hustling, that I'm continuing to do my best to build the future that I want. And if I'm doing it, I mean, I'm just a mere mortal, right, guys? I'm just a mere mortal. I want to build a venture fund. I want to deploy capital into great founders, great ideas. I want to work with fun people doing it. That's what I want to do. And I'm going to continue to work hard and network and find the right relationships so I can do it. Yes, is it hard work? Absolutely. Are there days when things don't work out the way that I want or expect? Then I have to put on my stoic face and realize that I don't need to inject negative narratives. However, though, sometimes you need that daily encouragement. So check out the link below. Check out the link below, guys, if you want to get 10 texts from me 10 texts from me, and then it's done. It's free, by the way. It's free, by the way. Have a great weekend, guys. I'm not going to be on the track this weekend, so if you're on the tweeters or the Instagrams, I'm not going to be posting up anything because we have 2 carts that the frames have been damaged. I got them actually in the back of my truck right over there. I don't know if you could actually see those. Can you see them? Yeah, there they are. Oop. There they are. There's one of them hanging out of the back of the truck. And so this weekend was supposed to be a race weekend, but we had to cancel it because we got 2 busted carts, guys. 2 busted carts. I know. I'm going to be spending this weekend doing some rest and probably going to the sauna because that's how you get all the crap from the week out of you. If you need tips on sauna, on what the value of going to a sauna, hit me up, leave a comment below, guys, and of course, man, have a great weekend, my friends. Have a great one.